Alright, let's find the equation for this graph, and let's use the sine equation, although we could use the cosine if we wanted to. We could use either one, because this could either be a sine or a cosine graph. Notice the p right here in the graph stands for pi. Alright, also notice some books use different formulas, but the book I'm looking at right now is the Honors Pre-Calc book, 2014, which uses the letters, the A, B, C, and D like that. So A is the amplitude, B relates to the period is going to equal 2 pi over B, D is the horizontal shift, and C is the vertical shift. So all we have to do is pick that information out of the picture. To start, let's find out where our period is. Remember, since it's a sine graph, first of all, I'm going to notice that it goes up to 3 and down to -3. So that's nice, because that means I don't have any vertical shift. So my vertical shift, C, I'm going to write A equals, B equals, C equals, and D equals. My vertical shift, because notice how the center line is right at 0, my vertical shift is 0, which makes that part of it easy. Now we got to pick where we're going to start one full period. So I'll use a color purple for this. Remember, the sine graph starts in the middle, goes up, goes down, and comes back to the middle. So there's 3 points in the middle. I like to call these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's 5 key points in one full period of a sine graph. Remember that? So let's find those 5 key points. There's the 1 key point, there's the 2nd key point, there's the 3rd key point. I'm sorry, there's the 1st, there's the 3rd, there's the 5th, the 2nd is up here, the 4th is down there. So that means that one full period, right here, that's pi over 6, and this is, what, 7 pi over 6, I think? 7 pi over 6. So what's one full period? Subtract these, and you get pi. So 1 period equals pi, but remember, that's not B. B is related to pi with this equation right here. So let's use that equation to solve for B. P, which is the period, equals 2 pi over B. Solve for B, multiply both sides by B, divide by pi, B equals 2, so there's B. B is 2. Amplitude is probably the easiest thing to find. I'll use orange for this. The amplitude is just half of the total height of the graph. So the amplitude is 3. The only tricky part is that you want it to make sure that it's positive or negative, that you're writing it correctly. And since I'm starting here and going up that way, that means it's a positive 3. If I had started here and gone down, it would have been a -3. Okay? So positive 3 is my amplitude. And the only other thing I have to do is the phase shift, and you can see that right here. There's my phase shift right there. That's D. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's D. The phase shift is D, which is pi over 6 to the right. And pi over the 6 to the right means what? That the D, notice how there's a negative right here.
Yeah,
that means that it's a
over.
positive pi over 6, because there's a negative inside with the x.
Yeah.
So there's our numbers, or our letters. Let's write out our equation. Y equals 3, that's A, sine of 2, which is B, times x minus pi over 6, which is D, and C is 0, so I don't write anything outside of there. There's your answer.